You're watching TVC Breakfast. Let's get to our next discussion now. In December 2021, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, said that Nigeria's creative industry has a revenue of about $4.5 billion. And this figure shows that Nigeria's creative sector projections and promising and holds a tremendous potential to unlock the country's economy and provide increased employment opportunities for young people in Nigeria. And in fact, Nigeria's creative industry is positioned as the country's second largest employer and has the potential to produce 2.7 million jobs by 2025 and presently employs 4.2 million people across 5 sectors, and that's media, entertainment, beauty, and lifestyle, as well as visual arts and tourism and hospitality. But in spite of the massive growth in the sector, lack of funding and the absence of investors is a major challenge. We'll be talking about that. And joining us in the studio for this conversation is Mahmood Ali-Balogun, a filmmaker, cultural worker, and managing director, Brickwall Communications Limited. It's nice to have you join us right now. I can roll out the red carpet now for you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Right.
Now, a lot of people agree that the movie industry in Nigeria is a great money spinner. And in the last decade, we've seen this roll out, especially with collaborations with Hollywood, collaborations with Bollywood, and so on. But talk to us, what has really changed between the last decade and this decade?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. Potentially, it's a great money spinner, no doubt about it. Potentially. Right. And there's been a lot of flurry in terms of efforts to get it to spend the right kind of money, and the results have not been too palatable. But you see, it's showbiz, and there's the facade that things are perfect. But between you and I, we know the industry is still bleeding.
Wow. When you say it's bleeding, what does that mean? I mean, there was a report in Al Jazeera a month or two ago that, the money they make there is actually exploitative money. They don't really make that much money. An actor will do like 3 films in 2 weeks.
Yes.
What is the rigor? There's no rigor in that kind of thing.
Well,
because you want to earn little money and go to the next one.
Yeah, that's why I say there's that facade that the industry is making money. You see, to make films takes a lot, like any profession, right?
A lot of work.
All those spaghetti productions you're talking about where they rush in, rush out, don't deliver the kind of money you're talking about, right? For you to have such films that would deliver the kind of money we hope that the government is alluding to, there are things that need to be put in place, there are things that need to be around for us to play with, I keep telling people where the money is in distribution, right? Who controls distribution controls the money, right? Actors, the cameramen, and other people are tools for those who put the money there for investment, right? That is not saying that those players can't make money, but the environment is not conducive enough for them to make money because you can't detach the film industry from the Nigerian economy itself. The kind of money you see people lavish by virtue of the lifestyle of some of the practitioners, they're not necessarily coming from the industry.
It's not their money. It's not the film's money.
No, they're not necessarily coming from the industry. I'm not saying it's not their money.
No, it's not the money from the industry.
From the industry, yes. Right, yes.
Because so the money itself is also acting.
In a way.
Make believe.
Yes, right. So it's the kind of catch 69. You see a lot of activity, and you're hoping the money is there, but get to the actors, get to the practitioners, the real filmmakers, the people on the field. It's all gloom, but it can be better. It can be good. Right, if things are right.
Okay.
The first person that told me about this was Peter Igo some years ago. I was
the icon.
Yes, I was with him somewhere, and we saw a very prominent actress, and she just came out of the SUV. Some people going around her, and we're coming. We're not even going. We're going in a different direction.
Yeah.
They don't mind them. The money she earns cannot even buy her this car.
That's for showbiz. Showbiz. Yeah.
So I mean, it's seen as a platform for some kind of
For other businesses.
exactly whatever they are.
Other businesses.
Yeah, it exposes you, it offers you opportunity to do other things.
For
you know.
exposure.
For exposure, it opens doors and all that. So you can use that because
Some of them
right
use it
now,
to become they get
even,
sponsorship from
political
endorsements.
offices.
yeah, political offices.
Even today, they use it for political offices.
Yes.
We have a lot of people in our industry
Running,
today who
who are
are in
elected.
offices, who are in the National Assembly, who are in the state assemblies.
Or
and
who
all
are
that.
aspiring
Or
to
To be there. Yes. So,
All right, talk to us. What impacts the OTT platforms are having? For instance, we have like the Netflix and the others. Now we were looking up to the cinemas that was taking, at least was taking the shine off piracy, and then eventually we're seeing OTTs now where a lot of people are subscribing to. Talk to us. How is this contributing to making the industry more robust, or what thing?
well, the OTTs are most welcome. They're doing well. And the cinemas too. You see, in exploitation, you have different levels, right? You have cinema that you've mentioned, you have the OTTs, you have the cable, you have television, the terrestrial ones, you have pay TV, you have all manner. There are about 7 chains, What the point is, one complements the other. You see, cinema is not the end, like most people believe. Cinema is just supposed to give leverage to what the others are going to do for you. Cinema in other climes, contributes a certain percentage, to the total. The OTTs will not come in. But the ecosystem is changing because the OTTs, the streamers, are beginning to expose your film directly, even without you going to the cinema. One of them gives you just 1 week window to expose your film, right? So the dynamics are changing.
So is that good for our industry? Is it better for the industry?
Yes and no.
Okay.
In the sense that the COVID pandemic, has exposed so many things, has allowed the streamers to have a kind of edge because people now see the opportunity to enjoy this film, watch these films in the comfort of their homes. Yeah, but you see, the cinema is still what it is. The cinema, you want to go out, you want to take your family out, you want to go out with your friends and all that. So that satisfaction, that recreational virtue that you get from going to the cinema, the OTT can provide you. So you cannot substitute one for the other. They have to work in synergy. So I will say that, they've done well, they've helped us. But you see, my bottom line is this, right? The first thing I mentioned was the distribution. The OTT monies, where are they going to?
Exactly.
Who is making the money, right? In Nigeria, on the continent, apart from one of the platforms, I don't want to mention their name here, but I could mention their name, Showmax, right? On the continent. Who else is doing anything in that direction, right? So we see a lot of money, but do we get the money back? Even in the area of music, the people who are controlling that money are the people who own those platforms. There are Nigerians who could put money down to create such platforms, given the right encouragement and environment. But we don't have that. So all these seeming glory activities of progress or what have you will come to naught. A lot of things have to happen. Here in this country, lip service is a key thing. But when it comes to doing the job of putting your mouth where your money where your mouth is, it's otherwise.
There must be some people who are dominating it and making real money from it. Who are these people?
Yeah, you see, the challenge we have, one of the biggest challenges we have in this country is that, you see, because we don't have the structures put in place properly, people take advantage. And once you're in that advantageous position, you want to hold on to it, right? But how does it benefit the entire industry, the collective, the artisans, you know? So it's yes, very few people control the industry or benefit from the good in the industry presently. It's the lopsidedness that we have right now, and that has to be corrected by virtue of the kind of structure that we need to be in place.
All right. We'll talk about the structure. Of course, the structure from the production to acting to distribution to marketing, promotion, and all of that is a very long chain. But who will put that structure in place? We have often talked about this. Is it the government that is an outsider watching who doesn't really understand the whole thing? But okay, fine, they have the powers and the policy and all of that. But then, on the other hand, the practitioners themselves, it seems sometimes it's challenging to bring everybody, leave your ego outside and pride outside, and then let's sit down and discuss as industry players. But who should put that structure in place?
It's everybody. You see, you mentioned something about policy, you mentioned something about ego, you mentioned something about the industry players themselves. You see, the industry is a very fluid one. Entries and exits are so fluid, so easy, unlike other professions where you have guidelines governing entries and exits. You know, the film industry is such that anybody can just come in, and it's fantastic. You know, creativity flourishes, but within that flourish, there needs to be some level of guardians. You know, in terms of how things are done. We don't have that. We have guilds all over the country who have the noble intention of getting the industry structured and all that, but they're not empowered in the sense that you can set up a guild of your own. All you need to get is get registered with the CAC. Yeah. I can set up my own if I disagree with you. But you see, I believe, and I've been consistent in my position on this, that look, there's need for an executive order or law put together for us by the National Assembly, not for the National Assembly to control us, for us to have certain things in place so that we can regulate ourselves as regards how we interface with each other, how we interface with the corporate world, how we interface with the rest of the society. If we don't have that, we will still have these hydra-headed problems that we're facing today.
From time to time, we get interesting films,
yes,
you know, out there that people talk about. Now, people are talking about 2 or 3. They're talking about Election Yoba. They're talking about what they call that one, Anikulapo, Den of Thieves, and so on, which is the best one, and that they're going to nominate one for the Oscars and so on. Some people say, oh, they want Election Yoba. Some people say they want Anikulapo. I think the fight is actually in the media between these two, and there have been some controversies over these films. I've written an over 2,000 word essay that will come out in a few days on my take on it. I keep that to myself for now.
No, you will say it. You will say it. Since you brought it up, you will say it.
Of course, you have
to. You have to let the cat off the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, you know, creativity is subjective. Even though we all know what is good or what is bad, right? You see, among those 3 films concerning the controversies, they are all eminently qualified, right? But a choice had to be made. Unfortunately, the situation we had ourselves, we didn't make no choice.
Why?
Right. Well, I think we made an error of judgment in deciding that none of them qualified.
Who is the we?
Well, you see, the committee, the committee that was tasked with selecting one for the Oscar for Nigeria, in the sense that what the Academy required of us was to decide if the films met the requirements as they stipulated in their rules. and 4 films were submitted. 1 did not meet the requirement. The other 3 met the requirement.
Which one did not meet?
I think on Eagle Wings, it did not meet the requirement in terms of language, and it didn't meet the requirement in terms of timing, right, when it was released and all that. The other 3 were okay. So what was left for us was to decide which one should go of the 3. But we made an error, you know, in not picking anyone. Right.
All right.
Yep.
All right. There'll be time for us to talk about this again. This is a topic that a lot of people are interested in, but we certainly will bring you back again. Mahmood Ali-Balogun, thank you so much for your time.
You didn't succeed in getting my opinion.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't fire your shot that you intended firing.
Yeah.
We'll read the shot eventually.
I know.
Thank you.
All right.